Hi everyone, my name is Leanne and today I'm announcing a super exciting readathon that is coming up really quite soon. This is something that me and a bunch of other booktubers had been kind of quietly talking about and planning in the background. We were thinking, oh, maybe we'll do it later on in the year. But then we saw such a demand for this exact thing that we were planning. So we were like, okay, let's do it in February. From the 13th of February to the 21st of February, so from Saturday to Saturday, we are going to be hosting Jacqueline Wilsathon. So this readathon is going to be hosted by myself, it's going to be hosted by Anna and Aoife, it's going to be hosted by Charlotte, Shar and Karis. Everyone's links down below in the description. I think Jacqueline Wilson is one of those authors that turned people into readers. In fact, I joked in a job interview at the tail end of last year that Jacqueline Wilson was the reason I was a socialist. I loved that her books were issue driven. I loved that the kids in these books felt like kids I knew and kids I was friends with. There were elements of my own upbringing that I saw in these books. I cannot emphasize enough how astronomical Jacqueline Wilson's writing was in shaping me as a person. I think there's something really familiar about her books as well that can be really, really comforting. And I think we could all do with a bit of that at the moment. And the older I get, the more I realise what a phenomenal person Jacqueline Wilson is. We are going to be doing live shows, there's going to be reading sprints, we have created a bingo board. You can double up on challenges for this bingo board. You can get a line horizontally, vertically, you can get one diagonally, you can fill in the whole board. Whatever you want to do, there's absolutely no pressure with this. You could devote your entire reading week to reading Jacqueline Wilson, or you could just reread one of your favourites. It is entirely up to you. Remember guys, there is no pressure. We are bringing chill vibes only. The first thing we've got on the bingo board is to watch an adaptation. A lot of Jacqueline Wilson's books have been adapted into films or mini-series, most famously The Story of Tracy Beaker. I realise people's accessibility to these shows might differ depending on like what country or region you're in, but you could always just watch some of your favourite clips from Tracy Beaker on YouTube. Again, chill vibes only. Another square on this bingo board is to create a doodle based on a book. I don't know about you, but I was always trying to emulate Nick Sharratt's really distinctive way of drawing these characters. I remember getting like the Tracy Beaker magazine where you would be taught how to draw like him, or it can be absolutely anything inspired by one of Jacqueline Wilson's books. And as with everything in this readathon, I would really encourage you to get involved in social media and share posts about what you're reading and sharing your doodles using the hashtag Wilsathon. The next square on the bingo board is to read a book for older readers, and later on in the bingo board there is a square for read a book for younger readers. And I think there definitely is that distinction with Jacqueline Wilson's books, you know, the books that were for very young kids, but also some that were for kind of tweens who were interested in aspects of growing up and kissing people and those kind of vibes. The next one I am very excited for, which is to eat a snack from your childhood. We are getting full nostalgia for this. The next square is quite simply to reread your favourite book, and the next one is to read a book that you've never read before. Jacqueline Wilson has continued to publish so many books over the years, and I think when I was growing up I definitely made it to a point where I was like, I'm too old for these books now, but she has published so many books since then that I've missed out on, and I would love to go back and read some of these books now. We'd also like to encourage you to read a book at bedtime as if it's a bedtime story. I have such vivid memories of being curled up in bed with a Jacqueline Wilson book, and I would love to replicate those kind of memories. And the final square is to quite simply read a book that has your favourite colour on the cover. Now, I don't know exactly what I'm going to be reading for each of the particular prompts, but I do have this stack of Jacqueline Wilson books left from my childhood. Really regrettably, I got rid of a lot of Jacqueline Wilson books when I decided I was too old for them, but I have plenty of books to get cracking on with here, and I've checked with my library's digital services and there are so many audiobooks on there that I could check out as well. I'm quickly going to take you through these books, but I can't guarantee I remember an awful lot about them, and I think that's going to be part of the fun of this readathon. I'm going to be vlogging it as well. Is seeing it all gradually start to come back to me. Double Act, I really don't remember anything about it other than it being about a pair of twins, and one of them is slightly more like neater and the other is like messier. That's really all I remember about this one. The Illustrated Mum is one that really stands out to me. This is one that I think some of the really iconic scenes from this book have really stood out to me. And it's about the relationship between Dolphin and her sister and her mother is a little bit more wild. She's got a lot of tattoos compared to some of the other mothers. Cookie, I remember absolutely nothing about this. Like, I genuinely couldn't tell you a single thing about this book. Candy Floss, I think I remember that this is mainly about the relationship between a young girl and her father, and he runs like a chip van, I want to say. Clean Break, I remember being about a mother and a father splitting up, I think on Christmas Day. My Sister Jodie, not a clue, couldn't tell you. Kiss, I remember being about the friendship between a male character and a female character, and how that relationship starts to change as they get older and they become teenagers. Love Lessons, I don't have the dust jacket for this one anymore. This is probably the one that I'm the most excited to read, because I remember loving this as a kid. But now that I think back on the concept of this book, I have some questions. And I think those questions are only going to get answered through rereading this book. I remember that this is about a teenage girl and her crush on her art teacher, and how her art teacher is not a good person, basically, is what I remember. And I also have Jackie Daydream, which is essentially like a memoir from Jacqueline Wilson taking us through her childhood. So it could be really interesting to have this little bit of non-fiction in the mix as well. So there we have it. They are all of the Jacqueline Wilson books that I have on me currently. I can probably get a few from my library as well. Definitely won't make my way through all of these books. All of the information that you need for Jacqueline Wilsathon will be down below in the description. Like, absolutely everything you need to know is going to be down there if you need a recap. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if you are interested in participating in this readathon, and let me know if you were a Jacqueline Wilson reader as a kid. What was your favourite book? That's all I'm going to talk about today. I hope you guys are doing well, and I will talk to you in my next video, and I will see you for Jacqueline Wilsathon.